Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. I'll keep this short and sweet because you've heard a lot from me over the last couple of hours. Big up to everyone that's come on over. If you can, smash a like on the video for me. Subscribe, get your comments in, hit that notification bell. We'll get into as many as we can. Nipper says, utter garbage, Joe. Yeah. I think I can pick 3 players, I think, that played actually pretty decent. And I would say that was probably Rodon. I would say that's probably Rutter, and I would say that's Dan James when he came onto the pitch. Outside of that, I don't think anyone really came up. Again, we have to talk about the conundrum that is Joel Pirro. That's 49 games now, and he's had one good game as a number 9. But we also have to put questions on the manager as to why he was still on the pitch. Personally, we all thought we don't need Bamford. And I'm not rewriting history. Let me hear you. I'm not rewriting history, but Pirro isn't that 9. Pirro isn't that 9, and that's something for next season, isn't it? Because guess what? We're now going to have to be talking about Somerville leaving, Nonto leaving, Will Rutter leave. Could Archie Gray be susceptible to a massive bid? Because if it comes, we might have to. But look, in terms of performance, again, I thought Russell Martin just outdid Farker again. Look, I love Farker, and he'll still be here, but you've got to criticise, and you look. My point is, we made a change, and we bring on Roberts or whatever and Anthony, and we know that we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Sorry, it was when we brought off Firpo and brought on Joseph. Straight away, Ryan Manning's on the pitch. Because Russell Martin reacts tactically. I think our manager sometimes can be left wanting a little bit. That's something I will say. I'm seeing people have backed the man all season. Now he's not the man because we lost the game 1-0. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just my opinion, though. I understand that I knew this would happen, and that's something that I have to come to terms with. But so I don't want to get too emotional about people saying that, because the emotion is raw, and I totally get that as well. Because ultimately it's another 46 fucking game season. That's one game, and we chose a game to have a stinker. It was poor, wasn't it? It really was poor. And we can have as much as the ball as possible, but I'd love to know what the XG is. If one of the people waiting in the wings can find that out for me, I'd love to know, big chances missed or anything like that. There wasn't any. You can have, touches in the opposition box and stuff. Just poor. I think James, man. James was... we needed that guy, didn't we? Look at how good he was. What was it? 0.09? Or XG was 0.5 versus 0.5 with 89 gone, yeah. But we had the majority of the ball, right? Second half, it was us, but again, we did nothing with it. Michael says, you did say it would be 1-0 either way. This is what happens in playoffs finals, man, the cagey affairs. And the thing is, that first 10, 12 minutes, we were well on top. And I think in that moment, you have to try and create and take an opportunity, because if you don't, it can come back to bite you. And that's what happened. Flynn Downs started to get on the ball. There was too much ball watching from Leeds United off the ball, which Southampton didn't do. They took tactical fouls. Flynn Downs, I don't know how it took him that long to get a yellow. He's a bit like Morsey, But they did what was needed. They did what was needed. And off the ball, I think Andrea said it at half-time, they were just 10 times better than us. 10 times better than us. And he won. And again, Russell Martin was the better of the two, man. That's 4 times now. I think he's gone up against Southampton and lost. We've obviously played them 3 times and lost. So, yeah, not a great day. I can't... Apart from Rodon, who tried to get us going, he almost scored. But again, they're defenders, on the line, Bednarak for a Kamara chance. I know it was given as an handball, but I just look at their moments and think they were willing to throw their bodies on the line, whereas we were not great. And you knew through his arm, as soon as Armstrong went through, he was scoring. You knew that. Yeah, it was a good finish, and obviously they deserve it. I'm not taking anything away from Southampton, by the way. They massively deserve it. And I think you knew when Somerville came off, it was like, yeah, it's probably not our day. Probably not our day when the Championship Player of the Year is coming off. James though was a bright light, and he's your starting right winger. He's your starting right winger next season, innit? You know what I mean? And then, but yeah, there's going to be much upheaval at this football club. But one thing's for sure, next season Matteo Joseph needs to be starting at 9, because the lad will want to leave if not, because Bamford might have played his last game and Pirro's not a 9 for me. Yeah, anyway, I'll shut up talking now. Let's get some people in. I'm getting a few messages from Joe actually as well. Let me just see what Joe's saying. Georgie genuinely crying his eyes out when he was clapping the fans on the floor, crying. Farkas currently reassuring Rutter and Gray together. I know it's early and stupid to make assumptions, but the look on Georgie's face is very much unfinished business. Too early to say that because agents talk and and money comes in and all that jazz. But let's hope we're right. I'll just quickly read this super chat. We have to ask, if you had a top world-class manager, would they have prevented this season for Leeds? You need to ask the questions. Actress Joe, thank you for the content and pass. And I don't think any manager in the Championship is top world-class, though, are they? Come on, we need, I hear what you're saying, though. 2,200 watching. If you haven't already, smash a like on the video. It massively helps. Right, let's bring people in. We've got Paul, we've got Andrea, we've got Evie, and we've got Danny. Evie, I'm going to come to you first because we've heard from these lads at half-time. How are you feeling?
Disappointed, obviously. But it was to be expected. I didn't think that we were as gash as people were saying. I know a lot of people were losing their minds, but the problem is it was that final decision. I didn't think Somerville was at it. I didn't think Rutter was at it. It was the decision making that was wrong. His physicality was brilliant, but his decision making is what let him down. Even when you've even got the commentators saying, we're trying to funnel everything through the middle. We were going peak Jesse Marsh ball. The goal is in the middle. It wasn't until Dan James came on that we even utilised the wings, really. There was no creativity. Nonto should have come off in the first half for me after he went down. Obviously, he had that quite a weak shot. And then he got the injury, I think he twisted his back or something when he was landing. He just wasn't at it after that. And for me, I would have brought Dan James on at half-time because you're going to get heart from Dan James. And in games like this, sometimes skill almost goes out of the window. I know that sounds ridiculous, but in an occasion like this, it's moments that matter. And he almost scored twice in pivotal times, and I just don't think we were at the party. I thought Pirro was okay. You can't particularly blame him too much. He was getting zero service from the wings, and if we're wanting him to play that number 9 role, you have to have some form of service. Not saying he was good by any stretch of the imagination either. I'm just saying he didn't cost us the game. He didn't really have any chances, so we didn't fluff anything. But I was disappointed, and obviously now it's going to be doom and gloom, and I get that. I think we all need to go away and lick our wounds today and just allow ourselves to be a little bit sad and a little bit down in the dumps and woe is me for today, and then tomorrow's a whole new day, and fingers crossed we can. I want people to get gone. I don't want another summer of are they staying, are they going. If Somerville's going, I want him gone. I don't mean that to sound petulant. I want to know what we're doing. It's the uncertainty now which kicks in, and I think is going to kind of emphasize how crap we all feel now.
And then I've just received this. I think it's only fair. Let them have their moment. Jack and Mike from Matchday Vlogs have just sent me this. Listen. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. It is what it is. Big up to them. They deserved it on the day. Didn't they, Danny? We were just not good, were we? Thanks, Evie.
No. The first 10 to 12 minutes we were okay. I think Evie's got it bang on as per usual. Decision making was just poor again. I'm not angry at the time. I'm more frustrated because it's what we've seen over and over again in the past couple of games. I just feel like Gruev, I won't call him a saboteur, but I just feel like he was afraid to pass it forward and he just went straight back. I even posted a meme of Roy Hodgson and he goes like that and he goes, oh. And then, win the ball in midfield, bab yourself and turn around and you pass it the safe pass. I just think we lacked that. Somerville was not there. Rutter again, he tried, but that shot at the end really frustrated me.
Yeah. Playing James, man. Playing James.
Nonto playing for the fouls, moaning at the referee. He's quite petulant. I know he's young, but it's like experienced players such as Shea Adams and Armstrong know how to play the ref. Flynn Downs even. I think it took him about 80 minutes to get a card, just because he knows how to play the referee. But that was really frustrating. I didn't think we were using it that much. We didn't threaten McCarthy apart from since Dan James came on. Very, very underwhelming for me, and I think it's going to be like Evie said again. Tomorrow's a new day. The hard work starts again tomorrow.
100%. War Piglet says Joe, literal lifeline for those that can't be there. Big up to you, man. Jacob Lang, member for a month. Everyone keep a level head. Lost in the final against our worst possible match. 49ers will reload and go again with or without Farker. That's fair. Champs Bro as well with the super chat. Thank you for that, brother. The receipts are getting written for me on Twitter. I think I'll have to delete that app for a week or so. Paul, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. I knew as soon as Armstrong scored that we weren't getting back into the game.
Said at half time, didn't we?
That's not to be pessimistic. That's not to be that we can't do it. Just we were set up all wrong. People saying "fuck out." Have a word with yourselves. At the end of the day, for me, he is the right manager for us. The one criticism that I have of him is just that his substitutions are too late in terms of his in-game management. In terms of the match itself, let's see. Somerville was disinterested. Nonto was too busy arguing to try and get free kicks and stuff. The petulance was doing my head in. Rutter, although had a decent game, just his decision making's been off. He's not been right since he had the injury. Peru, it's difficult to have a go at him because the service just completely wasn't there. James did more in the time that he came on than the entire front line put together. For me, he is, unless he goes in the summer, which there's every possibility that he could do, he is our starting right winger 100% next season. I want Somerville gone. That's not just because I want him out of the team and I don't appreciate what he's done. I think his head has been severely turned. So just get him gone because it's just going to cause problems. Go. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. Same with Nonto. Nonto, go. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. If your head can get turned, then see you later. I think Rutter stays. I don't think Rutter goes. My thing is now we have to start blooding Joseph properly. Again, some of Joseph's touches, his control, his movement, his bringing people in was very, very good as soon as he came on. Rodon's a difficult one. There's rumblings, isn't there, on the rumour mill that he's really happy at Leeds and that he'd like to stay at Leeds. Is that going to be a possibility? We don't know. We need a new keeper. I think Melié's time's up. I think for his own sanity, I think it's probably time for him to move on. It's going to be a difficult season next season, but we're all going to be here next season supporting the team 100% because we're all Leeds United fans. Mm-hmm. We were just outdone today. We were absolutely outdone today, and unfortunately, the Norwich game was a bit of a before the Lord Mayor showing for me. As good as we were, you've got to remember Norwich were a poor side, and we were never ever going to be able to do that against Southampton. And Southampton knew how to game it, knew how to do well, and knew how to get the free kicks, knew how to do all the little bits and pieces that they were doing. And I'm not saying that our players were bad, our players were awful, anything like that, but for next season, we have to be brutal. And for me, again, I'll say it now: Bamford gone, Somerville gone, Nonto gone, Rutter potentially needs to stay. We need a number 10. We've got to have a number 10, a proper number 10. If we have no point in starting. It's just one of those things. Fair play to Southampton. Their game plan worked. They did it. Congratulations. Good luck. I hope they do well next season. But, we are where we are. We can lick our wounds and move on. At the end of the day, it's the 11 players on the pitch that have got to do it, and they haven't done it today. That's simple.
100%. Jamie, thanks for your super chat, mate. Matthew says, thanks to all you for great content over the season, marching on together from over the pond. Stephen Cooper manages Leeds next season. Calma. Jamie MC says, win together, lose together, new season starts now. Exactly, we move on to next year, don't we? Andrea, how are you feeling, mate?
Well, disappointed as everyone else, but if you look at the whole game, they deserve to win it. They were better than us off the ball, completely outclassed us. If you look at the two managers, if you look at that goals, ball possession, and all those thoughts, I don't like looking at stats in this particular case for games like this one, because if you look at this, you realize the patterns are absolutely similar to the two games we played during the regular season, during the league. Absolutely, because they were better than us off the ball. We were always chasing in the game, even if we held the ball possession for various parts. But absolutely, I think no verticality, too slow decision making, bad decision making. In the end, this game is a picture of our whole season. Probably started with the late transfers because of the turnover or the takeover. Sorry. Then we didn't have much business in January. I think these two windows probably show that this team is incomplete, for Farke ball, for the game that Farke play. I'm going to say it right now, Farke is going to be here next season, because if you look at how American ownership reason, not the Chelsea one, of course, the others, if you look at them, especially the 49ers, they plan with the manager, and if it doesn't work, they change the players. They don't change the manager. So that's what's going to happen for me. The real problem is that today it shows that, like Paul said, we lack of a number 10. Our midfield duo, Kamara and Gruev, they struggle to give us.
Well, they're too passive, bro. They're too passive.
Too passive,
well.
right? Exactly. The term I was thinking about is passive. We were too passive in the game. They had better intensity. Just look at the rebound. Just look how many passes misplaced passes they forced on us.
You can't have one with the other, can you? You need someone who's a lot more energetic alongside one of them. Does that make sense?
Exactly, but that's the problem, because today, if you were thinking about the substitution in the middle, about Kamara and Gruev, who was on the bench in terms of midfielder? No one, basically. So you had to move Gray into midfield and play Roberts there. Even the other midfielder, Ampadu, is playing all season basically since Strauch is injured as centre-back, because the other centre-back that we have, Cresswell, is not rated by the manager, of course. So why didn't we take another centre-back in January, even when we offload the Elder, Ayling, all those players, I think in the end, the two teams deserve to be in the final. But today, I think there's more physicality they have. We don't have physicality. We have very, very little physicality in this team. And you can see that. You could see that in midfield, absolutely, in terms of how fast they were to get on the ball, how fast they were to press us. We didn't press them. And again, on Pirlo, I agree on the fact that they didn't get enough service, but as a number 9, you have to get your own service. You have to try to move. Amson was not getting much service.
Yeah, and Joseph came on, didn't he? And straight away got involved in one moment and did more.
He tried to live wide, tried to get towards the ball. Pirlo is very static. That's the difference. Again, I don't think he fits the system, because we've seen him play as a proper number 9 just one game, throughout the whole season. And next season, of course, if you look at the three strikers that we have right now, is basically Bamford, Pirlo, and Joseph. So let's compare them to the others. Today they had Che Adams, Adam Armstrong. They have Ross Stewart on the bench. Ipswich, they took Clifford Moore and Halamadi in January, and they have Joe First. That's the difference. I think in terms of talent, if you look pound for pound, player for player, with Southampton and Ipswich, I think that we have certain players who have more talent than their players. But if you look at the certain characteristics like physicality, like intensity, pressure, they're better than us. And you can see that. You could see that today. So the only problem, and then I'm finished. The only problem for me is that looking towards the season, of course, players like Paul said will leave. Probably some will leave. Probably Gnonto will leave. There's other players who have finished their Leeds careers, great contributors like Liam Cooper, for example, probably. Like Patrick Bamford, probably. You have players who went on loan going back to the parent club, like Anthony, like Rodon. Rodon, I hope he stays, honestly, but I think he will look at a team like Ipswich, newly promoted. I think they might take a look at him, honestly.
Yeah.
A team like Ipswich. Then you have other players. Roberts was on loan. He would stay at Burnley, probably. The number 10, the DM, the striker, I think a major rebuild is on the way, honestly. Especially, but the other problem is that last season we were crippled by is he staying, is he not staying, like Sinisterra, all those players, Now we have Aronson, Weber, Roca, Christensen, all coming back. And then again, you have to, you first, before you do business, you have to offload those players again, but they had a bad season, many of them. Like Rock and Weber had good parts, but the others, then you have to find a club willing to take them. If you don't find a club, then you have they have to stay, and where do you place them? It's difficult now to see how the transfer window will go. Because I think a major rebuild is on the way.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Phil says another 9 months in this league to come dreads me. Massive disappointment. Said if we didn't score first 15, second half, this will fizzle out to 1-0 Saints. Yeah, 1-0 either way was my prediction, and it proved to be the case. I wish I was wrong, but yeah, that first goal was so big. Do you know what, as well? The season starts on 10th of August. It's literally 2 months away. That's it, just 2 months away. Then we got to do it all over again. Phil says we've bottled promotion twice, automatics now this. I hate that word bottle. I do, but I get it. Thanks for all the content this season, guys. We go again. Leeds. G. Smith says, hardest working man in the biz. Good, sir. Appreciate you, brother. And we move on to next year. I agree with the soothing voice, Farker. One weakness, too solid to sub. Toby Ward says, didn't deserve it. Fair play, Saints, but need to start fresh next season. I'm not too bothered about players leaving. Bring some new legs in. Yeah, we need a better squad. A better squad for sure.
Deeper,
JT's with us. JT, talk to me. Have you got a fan on, bro? Can you turn that off?
Is my mic bad?
No, your mic's bad. It just sounds like there's a fan. It don't matter. Go on though.
No, I don't have a fan. I just.
It's not your normal microphone, JT. I don't think your microphone's connected right.
Oh, is that better?
That's better. There we go. Perfect.
It's coming through. Fucking just poor, isn't it? I mean, we've done it every single time we've been in the playoffs in my lifetime, and it was just weak. It was poor. We spoke about all the issues at half time that they were. We didn't change the issues. We tried to change a couple of players around. I still don't understand why it took him so long to bring Joseph on. I'm not going to blame Fark entirely because the players were just flat. There was no creativity. There was a few players there that actually looked like they really wanted it. Why in the 80th minute when we're losing are we still having Ampadu and whatever stood still with the ball outside our own box? We need to get a fucking shot on target, and we sat there doing nothing. It was weak. It was poor. Finally, the last 10 minutes is the only time I saw any kind of spark, and Leeds looked like we were going to do something through Dan James and Joseph when he came on. I know Joseph didn't do much, but at least he allowed the space in the middle for Perot and Ruffers playing behind him, and we didn't have that the entire game, and it was too little, too late once again. I think if I'm going to be critical, he took way too long to make the substitutions again. He should have made them earlier. Really should have made them earlier. I agree with what you said, Andre. I'm not going to break down the stats. I'm not going to break down every little thing that happened in the game that we weren't doing right, because that's not what matters in this. It's a final. Tactics matter, of course, but in a final, it's about players stepping up and doing what's needed for your club. And we didn't have anyone that stepped up aside from potentially maybe Dan James and Rodon. Rodon, he had a good chance to score. Our best attacking moment of the game came through Joe Rodon. How poor is that? And we're going to be lucky to keep him after this now. Now we have to ready ourselves for the departure of all of our best players,
Yeah.
and it's down. I'm not trying to just be down on
No, it's
But
full on frank, isn't it, mate? We need to chat about it. Just to give everyone a heads up, to stay off social media. Trending in the United Kingdom is Leeds, I predict a riot, Farker, Somerville, Pirot, Nonto. So there you go. So, and that's in the UK. Having a look at the FARC stuff, it's a lot of Leeds fans saying it's time. There you go. And naturally, that was going to happen. We knew it would happen. Radaby Leeds says, bad start cost us this season. Find it hard to forgive Nonto et al. For those first few games. We must get recruitment right and crack on. Phil says 3 playoffs finals and haven't scored a goal. Sean Ely, I don't get all the doom and gloom. Didn't Bielsa not do? No, but it's fresh, man.
We
We'll
all
just
had
ask
that
them.
same doom and gloom when we lost to Derby.
Yeah, we did, 100%. Official Zoom says Leeds marching on together. Thanks for the content. Look, from the start of the season to now, great season. Love Joe. Champs Bro and Badger Morin says, I'm sad but proud to wear my Dan James kit. The parachute payments only dropped from 55 to 45. It's the third year when they dropped to 20%. That worries me. With stable ownership and coaching, we will go up and stay there. Can I just ask, and genuinely be full and frank, because I'm seeing some accounts that I would consider screwed on accounts now calling for Farker. Would you genuinely have a conversation about that, folks? Just out of interest?
No, honestly, no. I agree on. We can criticize him honestly because again, as many times during the season, like JT pointed out, I think the game would have been different honestly if he made those subs earlier in the game because when he brought Dan James on, Connor Roberts, Matteo Joseph, we look better in the end. Of course, it was a particular situation in the game when Saints were sitting deeper because they were defending the 1-0. Then we had the ball more than them, of course, in those final stages of the game, But if he, of course, Nyonto wasn't having a good game. Somebody wasn't having a good game, and making those subs, Pirot wasn't having a good game. Making those subs earlier, I think it would have changed the game because with more time, I think Joseph would have had more time to make an impact. James would have had more time to make an impact. Roberts, Gray wasn't having a great game too. So I think Roberts, bringing in Roberts would have been another option too earlier, especially considering that Gruev and Kamara were really struggling. They were completely outpowered because, again, Kamara is a technical player. Gruev is very static. He has good vision, but they were not giving us verticality today. They were completely outnumbered by Smallbone. Very smart player, Smallbone. Aribo. Both physical players too. Downs. Look at the difference between Gruev, our pivot, our playmaker, and Downs. Downs progresses with the ball. He's a very versatile player. So that's another difference for me. But honestly, I don't see Farke leaving, honestly, because, again, I'm going to say that the squad, it was a good squad with talent, but I think he had some gaps that in the end, like today showed, we didn't fill in the summer and in the winter transfer window, especially looking at physical players and the number 10 and another striker, because let's remember that when Bamford was injured, we had Pirot not playing well. We played for the first part of the season with Schroeder in the 9 and Pirot in the 10. We didn't decide to invest there, Again, look at Blackburn Rovers, Sami Smodish, for example. They are a selling club. They sold, for example, they let Brighton run out of his contract. They sold. They gave Travis on loan to Ipswich. Again, they are a selling club. I think if we tried, I think we could have tried to sign him, honestly. And again, the striker position too, like today showed, like Joel, you said at the start of the stream, Bamford missing today. Joseph gave us more than Pirot when he came on because he tries to create depth, he tries to press, that's the difference,
Yeah,
but
100%.
I don't think.
What can he do? A fucking 10 minutes on the
No,
pitch?
I agree, mate. I agree, and that's something that needs to definitely get levelled at Farker, and questions need to be asked in that respect. We can't get away from that fact. Christopher Spofford Chapel gifted 50 Just Joe Football Show memberships. Legends. Pellegrini Riccardi says, you've been brilliant all season, Joe. Don't stop now. I'm off to get more disappointment and disillusionment watching Italy in the Euros. Nah, you'll be all right, man. Don't worry.
No. I agree.
You don't have Southgate, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine, man. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Chronicles.
not the play.
Chronicle. My only issue with Fark is that he might need to change formation setup. Keep getting outnumbered in midfield. Centre, unless you're 10, is a beast off the ball. Exactly. Big up to Kevin Dyer as well, who's just become a member. Thank you for that, Kevin.
Can I say something on the Farker issues?
Yeah.
Because people saying Farker out, not only is it a ridiculous thing because of the fact he has got us to a 90-point season, and in most other seasons, I know people don't want to hear this right now, we would be in the automatic spots. But also, he's been given the longest contract that any Leeds manager has ever been given. The 49ers are businessmen first and foremost. It does not make good financial sense to get rid of him when we are still in our second, or we will be going into our second year of parachute payments. It doesn't make sense. He now knows the gaps that he needs to fill. He'll know that the players that are going, because it will be very, it's going to be very obvious what players are going to be going. Yes, we do have the return loanees, we do have them to figure out again, but we did it last season and nobody kind of knew about it until it was too late, until we were, already relegated, new owners, blah, blah, blah. Whereas we know what we're doing. We're seasoned pros at dealing with rats now. So I get the whole, he needs to work on his substitutions, but if he doesn't think that he has that quality, maybe he's, the fact that Bielsa always used to bring Roberts on because he rated Roberts over Joffrey, that was his preference. We all got frustrated with it, but it wouldn't change, the issue. And I just don't get it. I understand we're all hurting and everything like that, but it doesn't make financial sense. They're not going to do it. So
I just want to. I have put Paul in the chat because a lot of people, because obviously the criticism's louder sometimes, and people are disagreeing and saying Fark out and stuff. So I've put Paul in the chat. Let's see what the temperature is and see what people are saying, and then those that are saying but blah, 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 then we'll see what the rest of the chat. Because not everyone comments, folks. So let's see what that process. Can I just add while it's fresh in the memory, because you mentioned Roberts. That performance from him off the bench was woeful, by the way. Absolutely woeful. I'm going to add that because I think he was terrible when he came onto the pitch. I'm just going to add that. Sorry, go on, Paul.
I think as well, and I'm not trying to give Farker his like a get out of jail card or anything like that. We know that he's not perfect. But I will say that even throughout this entire season, I don't think Farker has the players that he wants. I don't think we have the squad depth properly yet. I do think that the start of the season, and people might say it's using excuses and stuff, but I do think the start of the season absolutely chopped us off at the knees. I do think the Nonto situation was horrible. I think it was a toxic place to be for the first couple of months for me, without a shadow of a doubt. If that first part of the month hadn't been the way that the first part of the season hadn't been the way that it was, we'd be promoted probably as champions. However, we're not. We are where we are. He needs backing properly in terms of money. It doesn't. I don't want it to be loan players, etc., so on and so forth. He needs backing correctly for me. And just it's I've said it in a couple of my videos before, and yes, like Evie says, we're all hurting at the moment, we're all annoyed, we're all upset, we're all it's very pouring lemon juice onto the open cup. But this sense of entitlement that we have sometimes as Leeds United fans it's galling. And if you get annoyed about people having a go and bookmarking tweets and stuff. Look, we all love our football club, but you have to earn the right to be in the Premier League. You have to earn the right to win games. We did not earn it today.
No.
It's that simple.
100%.
That simple.
Strange Name says, I don't get this far out nonsense. This was always a 2-year setup to get back to the Prem, so it's next season. The owners will have expected that. Look, 68% are saying in the chat, and that's had over 600 votes, so that gives you an idea. Graham Barwicks, thank you for the super chat, mate, says, mad to sack Farker 90 points in one season. Ordinarily, that's autos. If the season started with certainty, we'd have hit 96 to 100. Cash in on William Cree, rid of Deadwood, go again, but better. We need a new 10 and keeper too. I don't think I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Graham. Not to put the shits up everyone or to further depress you all, but that's next season's championship. Derby County, Cardiff City, Oxford, Plymouth, Sheffield United. I mean, listen, it's a shit championship. So if we don't go up next year, then yes, I will also be far out. It's a shit championship. We should be dicking it.
Yeah, it's very compared to this season. If you look at the level of the teams, of course, I know that Luton too will invest a lot of money now that they have the parachute payments, as Burnley will, especially after getting probably that buyout for company, too. But yeah, if you look at that, what we need to do for me is focus on bringing in new players. But you know what, we've missing it recently. We did it a little bit this season, but we didn't used to in the Premier League. We need to focus on the English market, especially in the Championship too, because even in the Championship, there's good players, players that are ready to play in the Premier League too. Like when we tried to sign Jan James when he was at Swansea, you need to try to make those signings too. Upcoming players. There's even players in League One that are upcoming players that will play in the Championship next season. So you need to look at them. I won't use the loan market so much this season, honestly, for next season, because you want players that you own. Because of course, Rodon had a great season, ups and downs. He had some downs towards the second half, after the international break, especially. But now we have the problem that it's not our player; it's Tottenham player. So what will you do if you were him? Leeds are asking for are interested in me to keep me in the Championship, but there's, for example, Ipswich interested, Southampton interested, maybe. I will go to one of those clubs if it's the Premier League. For a player, the Premier League has a massive pool. You don't get the Ampadu's every year. Getting off the eye of the Premier League this season, they show what they can do. So. Yeah, that's it, and you have to invest properly and rebuild the squad in the key places too.
100%. Phil says Harry bloody Clark, man, straight on there. Jonesy, member for 3 months. Thanks for this season, Joe, and all the guests. Plenty of room for optimism for the future. Congrats on your driving test as well. 50% of a good weekend, mate. 50% of a good weekend. Listen, Alfie, have the moments. I get it. Everyone have their moments. This is what football's about. This is why, let me just say, this is why when people have a go at me for celebrating moments, I will always celebrate moments, because guess what? They do, and they will have their moment, This is what it's about. This is football. I just mute the shit out of everything.
Mate, I don't understand why Leicester fans now like Kaiser Chiefs more than Kasabian,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've never known one song to just rattle an entire footballing world. It's crazy,
bro. It is or was trending in the UK. Imagine what the sales for Kaiser Chiefs. They're buzzing. Either way, they're buzzing. No, yeah.
Just pay for the extension.
Yeah, exactly. Right, well, folks, I don't know what else there is to say. It was just a shit day at the office, really, wasn't it?
Can I just
also go, Danny.
Basically, that we're talking about, we need a new number 10 and that. If you look at the subs here, we've got Darlow, Byron, Roberts, Cooper, Shackleton, Anthony, James, Gildart, and Joseph. Minus Gildart, there's no midfielder there to bring on and to put into that 10. I just thought we were just absolutely flat, and I just wanted to bring that up. Like in the summer, there's going to be a mass exodus, and we need to keep, because there's going to be teams that will come in for Joseph, in my opinion, and his head might get turned if we keep Joseph for next season. And I just want to point out the shot from Archie Gray and the shot from Nonto in the first half, mate, really absolutely rattled me.
Yeah, well. When you actually see the stills of that, because that's been shown now, when you actually look at the passes and stuff that were on, you just go, "Oh my god! Like, what are we? What were we doing?"
Still have Adam Armstrong running through, mate. It's just absolutely horrendous. Sorry,
Yeah,
And the ball circulation too. Of course, we had the ball possession for a lot of the game, but it was slow, lads. It was slow. Every time to the wingers, just one time to Rotterdam, they press him back to the centre backs. We didn't get a grip of this game. Honestly, to be fair, absolutely, we didn't. Completely relying completely on the wingers, especially Somerville. I remember Somerville against Norwich, for example. He takes the 1v1. Today, he how do you say that? He took a lot of time before making a decision in certain occasions. Like to say, it was a bad time for both in terms of decision making for me.
Somerville has been off it for about 2 months now.
Oh, I don't think that's fair. I don't like this whole narrative that says, "Oh, he's
I'm not blaming.
No, but it's like we're getting into that thing, like we did with Rafinha, though, Paul, of like, "Oh, he's had his head turned. Like he without Somerville, we wouldn't even be in this position. I just don't like doing that.
I 100% agree with you. What I'm saying is the level of his performance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's gone right. I'm going to down tools because the level of his performance of what we've become used to. He hasn't been at that level. That's a difference maker. I'm not saying that he's not been playing for the team. Just his level's not been there. Again, it's
hard to maintain that for 46 games, though, isn't it? When you're
6 games. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to dig him out.
No, I get that.
One thing that I would say is I really hope that Kamara does shooting practice every single hour of every single day from now until the start of the season, because he really annoys me and has done throughout the season. Don't get in the box if you're not willing to do something with the ball. Don't do it. Just stay out.
What do you need to do shooting? Sorry.
You are?
No, carry on. Sorry, I thought you finished.
No, I don't understand why he bothers, because he has become a meme of himself because of the fact he never actually takes a shot. He doesn't do anything. If you are not willing to take on that responsibility, don't be in the box, because you're taking up a space of another player who potentially could have a shot. Just don't bother, because I don't understand the big to-do about Kamara, in all honesty. He's been poorer more than he has been good this season. I think in the games where he's amazing, he is amazing. But for me, the gaps in between the games, and I've been very critical of Somerville as well, but Somerville has shown up far more than Kamara has. I know they're different positions. I'm just meaning in doing their own job properly, Somerville has done his job better than Kamara has done his own job, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, no, what I was going to say in that, to be honest, you talk about shooting practice. What's the point when no one wants to take a shot? I mean, How many fucking times did we sit outside the 18-yard box? Kamara had a great opportunity to shoot. Gray had 5 great opportunities to shoot. Gruev had great opportunities to shoot. And no one wants to actually take a gamble and take a strike. The only one that actually did take a gamble was flipping Dan James. And what happened? He hit the crossbar. He was inches away from scoring. That goes in. That's a completely different game. No one wanted to risk anything, risk skying it to shoot it. Sometimes you have to take that risk, and no one was willing to actually do that. And on Archie Gray, listen, he's young and he's been phenomenal this season, but today he was absolutely Casper the Ghosting it up big time. He was
4-on-2 as well,
costing us big time there. And I can't say much for the other people around them. Kamara, as he said, he didn't offer anything going forward. The triangles that are usually there with Somerville and Firpo weren't there. There was one key absence in there. Kamara was not offering anything for those triangles. No one was trying to take anyone on, and that's what it was. It was just confidence, and it was gambling, and unfortunately, we didn't have gambling men on that pitch. They gambled. Armstrong gambled on the loose ball a few times. He ended up getting one and scoring. Leeds never gambled. We never really showed much risk. Everything was safe. Everything was sideways. It was backwards. It was sideways. It was backwards. There was no one that was actually like, you know what, I'm going to take this on me. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to have a pop shot. I'm going to take someone on. Until Dan James came on. Like, realistically, and maybe Rodon when he made that long drive through the middle.
Yeah, I think as well, sort of like when we, like, there was a lot of... Yeah, there was a lot of mourning and stuff, and we've seen that a few times this season. I do remember Somerville at one point just stopping when he was fouled. Well, he felt he was fouled by Walker Peters,
True.
and then stopped. And then when he realised he weren't getting a free kick, he then just booted Walker Peters in the air and gave a free kick. Ampadu did the same. Shea Adams held him off, thought he was going to get a free kick, didn't get it, and then Ampadu just pushed him. And Roberts did it as well. Roberts did it over in their corner, just pushed. And I'm thinking, why are we doing this? Like, why? Like, what are we doing? We were just, we're shit. We were shit. There's the facts. We were shit. We were shit today. When it counted, we were shit. And we all got gassed up after Norwich. Rightly so, because how can you not after a performance like that?
False dawn, wasn't it?
Yeah, false dawn, yeah. Yeah, massively, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have anything else? Honestly, it's pissing down as well, and I just want to walk. Yeah, I need a hug, man. I want to walk my dog, but it's absolutely torrential. I'll just walk forever. If Matt Lettice is right and the world's not round, I might just walk off it, to be fair. We'll wait and see.
Does anybody think that somebody unexpected leaves? Like, obviously, we're all quite, saying, like, next year we'll have Ampadu and Kamara and Gruev. Does anybody think that somebody, because, Ampadu has been good, that somebody tries to, his head could get turned,
Not after that performance.
No,
After that performance, no one's coming in
not
for him.
after that. But we as a collective didn't play well. So you're going to look as the season as a whole, and Ampadu has been great. But, obviously we got him for a bargain.
I think
does Dan James go?
I think because he's in the first year of his contract, it'd take a massive amount of money to get Ampadu out. Leeds had just said no.
Gray's the only one that I think could be the shocker one that could potentially leave. That's the only one that I could think of realistically. But then again, saying that, we'll probably all be here in about a month's time going, I can't believe this has happened about somebody.
Yeah, probably be Firpo and Jaden Anthony are the ones no one's talking about. That will probably go. Jaden Anthony, lack of game time, and Firpo will go back to Spain.
No, but Anthony is on loan from, I think he goes back to Bournemouth.
Yeah, true. That's what I mean, as in he's not going to stay for next season.
Yeah, on Firpo, I agree. I think Firpo might be the one, considering that he's always played in La Liga, Premier League, I think he, one season in the Championship, he had a good second half of the season. Maybe a Spanish club will get interested, and then you have to question if he wants to stay or not,
I had to. Sorry, I'm chuckling away because Damar said at least we've got Cooper for another year, which I know he's fuming about, but I just had to laugh. But yeah, I don't think he's still. Look, Leeds United have been linked to a few players. Josh Sargent being one, the centre back from Ghent as well. I don't know if these dropped down to the Championship. Yeah, but Sargent's obviously in there. I don't know. There's deals to be done. There's loans to be made, and we'll see what happens next season. Because the facts are, like, football stops for nobody. Nobody. The Euros in about 2 or 3 weeks or something. 3 weeks, I think the Euros start. So, and then before you know it, we'll have all forgotten about it and just gone, right, okay, who's going, who's coming in, and that's what we have to do. It'll hurt, of course it will, but we're all well. That's the main thing. None of us have died, and we just got to. Yeah. We've got to dust ourselves off. It is what it is.
We start having bets now with regards to how many 3 p.m. kickoffs we're going to have next season.
Yeah, well, that's changed anyway, hasn't it? Because you've got the Championship now are allowed 9 games to play every weekend or something, so they'll literally be, I think, about 4 3 p.m.s every week. And Leeds will never be any of them because of that massive new deal the EFL have got. So that's going to be wild anyway. You're talking sometimes games on 8 o'clock on a Saturday night and stuff. It's all going to be a bit wild. So
at least your transfer show, Joe. At least that'll be banging. Come the summer.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of non-stop. There'll be a lot of incomings and outgoings, won't there? Every cloud and that. Julio says, taking my Steve Cooper comment back, 90 points is an accomplishment and deserves another season. My apologies. Mate, you don't have to apologise. A lot of decisions to be made. Yeah, there will be a lot of decisions. Does anyone want to give any nod to what they'll be doing after this, content-wise?
I'll have my own review video up in a bit.
Cool. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Nothing from me really, because an extra thing why I'm furious, because I had loads of memes ready
Oh,
When we,
bet.
if we, I had absolutely loads of memes ready, and now I'm gonna have to just bin them all because that's Leeds United, isn't it?
100%. I think this is the
Next
perfect
Friday.
way to end it with Christopher Junction's super chat that says, "We move, bring it on, champs next season, believe." Yes,
Yeah. Just one thing left to say. Marching on together.
exactly
Stop.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Right, we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week if you